Mm.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's Monday call. Hope you're doing well. I can see we've got some Australians in here. I'm assuming we've got some Kiwis in here as well. And I can see we've got at least one European. Let me know in the chat where you're tuning in from. Hope you've had a really good day so far today. And I hope that the mental load has not been too much. But that's exactly what I'm going to talk to you about today. Today's going to have two parts to it. The first half, we're going to talk about the new mental load kit that is available in Australia and New Zealand for this month. And then I want to go into a deep dive into the Shinrin Yoku blend and share some things with you there as well. So I'm hoping that'll be really insightful. Now, while I've got the slideshow up, I won't be able to see you in chat, but we've got Sim and Vanessa both here. They'll be able to answer some questions, and I will try and leave some time to answer any questions at the end before we give away our prize. So you definitely don't want to run off too early because you want to win what we have for you tonight. So without further ado, let's dive in and have a bit of a chat. So, as I said, we're going to be talking about the mood load kit or the mental load kit and Shinrin Yoku today. So first of all, if we're going to be talking about mental load, what exactly is mental load? And if you want to read a bit more about this, we've actually got a really great ebook that doterra has produced that you can find on the easiest way I find is if you go into the back office and look at where the kits are, and there's a little link there. It kind of takes you through some really beautiful questionnaires and some information as well. I just want, I often think what it would be like to be alive 100 years ago and to be a farmer on a farm where all I had to worry about is when's the right time to plant my potatoes and when's the right time to pull them out. And obviously, there would have been other stresses as well. But they probably didn't have to worry about getting their car serviced and making sure the termite inspectors came and making sure that they get their kids to school, plus it's book week next week and all those different things. It seems as though we have all these modern conveniences these days. We also have all these little things and checklists and things that we need to remember. And I'm sure each and every one of us, please share in the chat if you just feel sometimes like trying to remember all the things to do can get overwhelming. I know I have to send my water filter off, but I need to buy a box for it at the moment. And I haven't done it for 4 weeks, and my partner keeps nagging me about it. I'm just like, there are so many things that I need to remember. And so that can get really overwhelming, and that will have an impact on our overall performance and how we function through our day, in our family life, in our work life, and all these different types of things, and just how we feel about ourselves as well. What we know, though, is that we are one big chemical beaker. I don't know if you played around with chemistry in high school, but you would have probably found that you can put something in and something changes color or something bubbles. And that's really what we are. We're a complex beaker. And when we bring essential oils and supplements into the mix, we can actually change how we respond and how we deal with that mental load. Unfortunately, today I may not be able to help you reduce your checklist so much, but I will show you some simple ways that you can actually handle that checklist a little bit more as well. So, what is actually in the mental load kit? There are 5 primary things that are in there. Let's have a bit of a discussion about each of them. So, for those that are regulars, you may forgive me. Let me mute someone there. No, we're all good. I'm using a couple of slides that I used a couple of weeks ago, but I think it's really important to kind of retouch on these. So, first of all, we have balance. Now, even if you're brand new to essential oils, you don't need to know exactly what every oil does. A really great hint is to actually look at what the plant does. So, in balance, when we break it apart, we've got 3 big trees. We've got the amazing frankincense, we've got a Chinese tree called hoe leaf, and we've got beautiful black spruce, one of my favorite essential oils. Now, big trees. Here in Perth at the moment, we're having storms and hail and everything, and I'm watching the big trees. They're just bending in the madness. They're not falling over. They're not having, breakdowns. They're just going with the flow. And that's exactly what big trees allow us to do. A lot of them have chemistry in their essential oils that help us to just adapt with the storms of life. Then we have 2 chamomiles. We have German chamomile, which is different from our Roman chamomile. And we also have blue tansy, which is part of the chamomile family as well. We all know that chamomiles are relaxing. And then we have osmanthus, which we can buy in a touch by itself, made to you to smell like a little bit of peachiness or apricotness in flowers, but it really actually boosts with our happiness. So when we look at what balance does, it helps to ground us, stabilize us, calm us, all while we're smiling. The really cool thing about balance, it's only really balance and passion in our range of 15 and 5 ml oils that have fractionated coconut oil in it. So we can diffuse it, and it's absolutely fine to diffuse it. But the fact that there's fractionated coconut oil in there as well means we can also just whack it on us without needing to find our fractionated coconut oil as well. And I'm going to talk a little bit later about how we can use each of these in a bit of got a protocol for you today. So in the kit is also adaptive touch. So we can diffuse our balance or we can use it topically. The adaptive touch is designed mainly for us to apply it topically. Now, let's break down the oils in here. 4 relaxation oils. I don't need to tell you that lavender is relaxing. I think most of us know that already. But what makes lavender relaxing is 2 constituents known as linalool and linalool acetate. You don't need to remember that. You just need to remember that neroli and magnolia have more of those than lavender. So that makes them more relaxing than lavender. We also have the amazing copaiba in there as well. Copaiba, and we'll talk a little bit more about this in a while, is just like CBD oil, but better. So you've got 4 chill out oils in there out of the 8. So then we have rosemary and we have spearmint. Now these two, are really good at helping us to focus. Rosemary is one of our mental prowess ones, and spearmint is really great as well. We have a Chinese oil called sweet gum, sometimes known as liquid amber, and this one's really good for helping us adapt to different challenges. And then we've got wild orange, which we know is a happiness oil. So again, what does adaptive touch allow us to do? It allows us to relax, allows us to focus, allows us to adapt to different stresses throughout the day, and do it all with a smile on our face. And I know Di loves it. It's one of her favorites, and Kayleen does as well. So there are 2 chill out oils. We've got balance and we've got adaptive. Now we go into peppermint. Now, research has found, and I was doing some kind of I didn't doubt peppermint's ability, but I wanted to read up more before I spoke to you today. Just looking, and it was amazing how many studies I was able to find about when we inhale peppermint, it wakes us up and makes us more alert. And this is things in reaction time. So, how we react when we're driving, because we know that there's some interesting drivers on the road. How quickly we respond to other things that are happening around us is really, really important. But also our ability to process with attention and all the things that we need throughout the day. When we're talking about dealing with that mental load, we don't want to feel overwhelmed. We want balance and adaptive to calm us, and peppermint to actually heighten our ability to deal with all the things on our checklist in that way. So one of the things you can do is you can diffuse peppermint, and that's when we inhale it, that's really going to help you to focus. But I don't know about you. You may not like just the smell of peppermint in a diffuser absolutely every day. So let me offer you some combinations here. When it comes to oils that are going to help you with your mental processing for the day, look at oils that are gifted from small leaf plants. So that's like our herbs and so on. So my favorite ones that I find work really well, rosemary. Now, rosemary is going to help you with memory. So if you find that your memory is a little bit dodgy, you need to commit things to memory, you walk into rooms and you can't remember why and so on, you can mix some peppermint and some rosemary. Now, a few weeks ago, we were also talking about rosemary being really good at helping to lower cortisol levels. Of course, cortisol is that hormone that our body releases to make sure that we're alert, but sometimes we feel like we're over alert too much of the time. If we need to stabilize that, if you're feeling exhausted by the end of the day, bring out the rosemary. Now, I'd love to know who's got Spanish sage in their collection. and how often are you using it? Spanish sage, I would probably give the award to best mental function and mental prowess oil. It is so great, and the fact that you can absolutely not just diffuse it, but you can actually ingest it and cook with it is really, really great as well. So if you feel that I just need to improve my mental prowess and function, get some Spanish sage in there. Now, basil, if you get easily distracted, basil is really, really great. Vetiver is also another one if you like that, but basil will really, it's like lightning. When lightning comes down to the earth, it doesn't go, oh, where should I head today? It's like, bang! It knows what it's doing and it doesn't mess around. And basil helps us to be like that. Basil's also really good for adrenal fatigue because often when we have adrenal fatigue, we're trying to be everything to everyone. And basil says, let's just focus on what's important and not worry about the things on the checklist that don't need to be on the checklist. So a really beautiful one in that way. Lemongrass, like a sword of light. It cuts away all the distractions so that you know and can focus really clearly on things and really helps with clarity. So consider peppermint. Definitely use your peppermint, and you're going to get one when you get your mental load kit, but you can mix it with these other leaf oils as well. And you could consider other ones in there, like your marjoram, like your cilantro, so on. But these ones are my top 4. Now, we all want a bit of happiness. And there we go, Jaylene needs basil. We all need basil, I think, definitely. Pick your favorite citrus, guys. Their chemistry does vary and they do have slightly different superpowers, but they're all going to make you happier. They're going to increase the levels of serotonin. They're going to help you be a bit more alert throughout the day with a smile on your face. So whether it be the kind of more chilled out bergamot or whether it be a really, hyper one like tangerine or wild orange or lemon, mix them around. Now, you can do whichever combinations you want and maybe popping these oils that I've shown you here in front of your diffuser and then just use your intuition, pick a random number, get your kids to choose whatever you want, or you may have found that Spanish sage is what I need to use, then make a combo. And you'll probably, and I'd love you to come and maybe share it next week in the comments, if you've found a really good combo between these small leaf oils and a citrus and the proportions, and then maybe we can all steal your blends next week and we can share from each other. Okay, let's talk a little bit. We get some Copaiba in this mental load kit as well. So Copaiba is basically its superpower. Put it really, really simply, is that it calms the body and the mind via relaxing the nervous system. Copaiba works with the endocannabinoid system and thus the nervous system. So we know if we could just chill out our nervous system, we wouldn't feel overwhelmed in the mind and our body would probably calm down as well. And that's why it's great for pain. Because think about when we're in some kind of pain, we're like, oh, that's stressful for my body. My body's pain is our body lovingly saying something's not quite right. We need to attend to that. So Copaiba calms all that down. Now, one point about Copaiba that some of you may not have heard of before, but the worst experience you'll have with Copaiba, when it'll be the least effective, is the first time you use it. Because of regular use of Copaiba, your body in this endocannabinoid system actually starts to develop more and more receptors in the different cells. And so it will respond more effectively as time goes on. Now that excites me because I know when I deal with different customers that are on different medications, they're on a certain medication and then they have to go to more medication because they're getting their body is becoming resistant to it. Their body's not welcoming it, so we've got to up the ante a little bit more. But the body embraces Copaiba. It says, hey, I love this. Let's make more receptors for it. Let's not resist it in that way. Now, Copaiba is similar to CBD oil. And you may have used CBD oil yourself. You may have family members or people in your life that use it as well. Let me tell you why 5 reasons why I think Copaiba is better than CBD. So the problem we have when we use CBD oil is it contains THC. And that's the thing that helps you see unicorns galloping around your lounge room. It's the hallucinogenic aspect. Now, what we can do, or what people can do, is they can actually take the THC out of it. But what starts happening when we play with plant chemistry and we strip away and separate into different parts, we're going into pharmaceuticals. And I'm sure you or you know people in your life that have had experience with pharmaceuticals where they're on one. I have friends that are like this. They're on one and they're getting side effects. So then they have to go on something else to counteract those side effects and so on. So I don't like the idea personally of anything where nature's been stripped apart. I like nature as its whole. Copaiba doesn't contain any THC. See, you can have all the Copaiba in the world and a unicorn will not appear in your lounge room. I'm sorry. There's also been a lot of research, and when you look at a lot of CBD products that are sold on the market, a lot of them, the labels don't actually match what is actually in there. Because again, it's a new industry and regulation isn't as tight as it should be. Now, I know I have some friends that are on CBD oil, and I know what they pay a month, and they're paying a lot more than a packet of Copaiba soft gels. The great thing is you don't need to faff around with prescriptions for that. You can go, anyone can buy their Copaiba. We know it's pure because doterra and their third-party testing is exactly, we know that's all we're getting in there. And it's also, I'm missing an L there, but it's legal worldwide. And there are some countries where you can't get CBD oil. So that's another benefit of it as well. So it's an amazing supplement. Now, here is what the TGA, this is the Australian government, recognises as some of the advantages of using Copaiba on a regular basis. Everything from general health and well-being to inflammation, joints, ache, pains. It's good for our digestive system. It's good for our respiratory system. It's good for cystitis. It's good for the urinary tract and so on. But it also chills out the nervous system. And remember, these are just the things the TGA recognises. And then the fifth thing in this kit are these amazing lavender peace supplement. Now, this combines not just essential oils, but some other great gifts from nature as well. There's some lavender, some lemon balm, passion flower, and chamomile in there. And these have all been found to help chill us out and have restful sleep. But you may have heard people talking about L-theanine, and sometimes they combine it with things like caffeine and different things like that. But just L-theanine by itself is known to lower stress levels. And then we have the tart cherry, and this is my favorite thing in these lavender peace supplements. Tart cherry naturally contains melatonin, but also encourages your body to produce its own melatonin. Now, in Australia, there's been tightening restrictions on melatonin because of the negative effects of melatonin on most people. And when you take a pharmaceutical or a manufactured melatonin, your body stops producing its own. It gives up. It just walks out the door. It's like, it's not going to bother. Whereas with the tart cherry, what they find is it actually encourages the body, come on, we can do this together. We can collaborate. Now, I'll do a little bit and you do a little bit. And it helps you to create melatonin as the sun goes down to help you wind down to get you in that sleepy state. It's not going to necessarily keep you awake, asleep all night. Melatonin is more to help you regulate your sleeping patterns in that way. But really beautiful to have that. So this is the mental load protocol, and this is you can find this in the ebook as well. So what you want to do is in the morning, you want to grab your balance and you want to pop that on the soles of your feet. Why don't we put oils on the soles of our feet? We do that because if you touch the soles of your feet, you'll notice that the skin is very thick. It's actually the thickest on our body, I believe. And so it takes ages for it to soak through compared to if you're putting it somewhere where it's a bit more delicate, like on your wrists. And so you're getting the sustained release of the balance throughout the day. Then get your adaptive roller and you can put it on your pulse points. Another place I actually like to put it is on the back of the neck. Why would I put it on the back of my neck? Well, because that's where my central nervous system is, and I want to kind of get it in there so I'm having an impact as well. Now, if you saw when I talked about the mood management kit a little while ago, I kind of talked about how balance and adaptive are different. I saw a comment come through there that they like to put balance on their pulse points as well. Go to town. Variety is the spice of life, and work out what you really enjoy in this way. But balance is really good on the feet, I find, and I love adaptive. But you can switch them around, and they're kind of alternated in that way. Now, We also want to, especially if you're feeling a bit flat in the morning, or if you're like, I need to be on point today. I know tomorrow is a big day for me because I'm on a plane on Wednesday, and so I've got things to do. So I will need that peppermint in the morning to be on point. And what we remember we talk about at doTERRA is it's not about waiting till something goes wrong and then grabbing your peppermint. Don't wait till you're exhausted and then grab your peppermint. You want to, well, you want to actually grab your peppermint and be alert so that you don't need it later on in that way. So that's how we start the morning. Now, as we go through the middle of the day, keep leaning into the peppermint and keep playing around with those diffuser blends as well. And you can keep rolling the adaptive on there. That's a really great thing about it. It's just there and we're going to apply it. Now, in the ebook, it recommends taking 2 Copipa soft gels and 2 lavender peace soft gels with your lunch around midday. I've got some little stars there, and this is my personal opinion from my experience and other people I've spoken to. Some people find when they take the Copipa soft gels during the day, it makes them feel a bit sleepy. Now, if that's going to that may benefit you in some ways because you just need to calm the farm down, but I want you to experiment with that maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday the first time round and see how you go. But if not, I'm going to give you maybe use it later in the day. Lavender peace. Now, your body isn't just lavender nor L-theanine nor tart cherry have enough power to. They're not sleeping tablets. They're not going to shut your body down. They're just going to help you calm down. So you can actually take, if you're feeling a bit anxious, you can actually take lavender peace soft gels throughout the day as well. I personally find that they sedate me a bit too much, and I don't like that. And Tracy's saying the same for her, but give it a shot because for some people, they swear by doing it midday. However, at night, diffuse your balance. Get your adaptive on your shoulders, your chest to unwind as well. And then I take 2 lavender peace soft gels and 2 Copipa soft gels 30 minutes before bed. Why am I taking them and why am I recommending taking them 30 minutes before, not as I get into bed? Because it takes a while for them to get into the system. And what has been found is how we get into bed has a big impact, or how we feel as we get into bed has a big impact on that night's sleep. So just like when we're trying to stop at a red light, we don't wait till we're a meter away from the red light and slam on the brakes. We slowly start to slow down, just like trying to get kids into bed, we wind us down. We want to start winding you down at least around half an hour beforehand. And you're going to get a lot better effect than, oops, I forgot to take them and taking them right away type thing. If you forget, take them just as you get into bed, and that's absolutely fine. So I wanted to share these are also in the ebook as well, but there's some really beautiful combinations here using some of our oils that are in our in the mental load kit, plus some of our other favorites as well. You can take a screenshot of this if you want, or grab the ebook and you'll be able to find these different ones. There's some rollers and there's some diffuser blends as well. I'd love to know in the chat, please let us know, has anyone tried the Calm Cortisol, the Exhale, or the Quiet the Noise, or made one of these rollers yet? I'm going to offer you a little challenge, if I may. If you're going to make one of these rollers in the next week, can you make 2? Can you make one for yourself and one for someone else who you may have in mind or you may just see during the week? And gift it to them. Just share the kindness in that type of way. Now, the other cool thing is we get veggie caps. Now, I am so excited that we, from September 1, will be able to order veggie caps by themselves. But veggie caps and taking oils internally have so many different health benefits. So what I thought I'd do is I thought I'd share with you 5 different recipes that I like to use with your veggie caps. So here is one. It's deep sleep. So you can rotate these, and this is, again, the great thing about us is we're all different colors of the rainbow. And so different oils and different supplements will work in different ways. And so sometimes it can get annoying when you're like, just tell me what to do. But even if you go to a doctor, they're like, I'm going to try this. We'll see if it works on you. And if it doesn't, come back and we'll try something else. That's because we're all different beakers with different chemistry. So give these a shot as well. If you need really deep sleep, like you've got a big day tomorrow, you know, maybe you've got to get on a plane tomorrow. Those sleeps before that are always wretched. That type of thing. Something's bothering you. Try 3 drops of Frankie, 3 drops of Roman chamomile, and 1 drop of valerian. This is good if you need to steady your head, if you're a little bit of an overthinker, and if you're a little bit of a typo crazy today, missing my drops there. There's also some benefits here for maybe the cardiovascular system. If you tend to be like me, and when you get those little heart monitor tests, your numbers are high. Combinations of 3 drops of frankincense, 3 of marjoram, and 3 of ylang ylang. And just have these with your dinner, kind of thing. Whenever you have veggie have them with your meal. That works well. This is not my recipe. This is a famous one that does laps around doterra. It's big in the USA. It's called the morphine bomb. And this is kind of great for headaches. It's great for any kind of pain. So if pain keeps you up at night, try 6 drops of Frankie, 6 drops of lemongrass, 6 drops of marjoram. You may not get all of these 18 drops in one veggie cap. You may need to split it between 2. Who's ever had something a little bit weird and you go to bed and your belly is kind of doing backflips and gurgling? And you're like, oh, that's just going to bother me, kind of one. So this is my funny tummy one that I popped together myself. So we're going to pop a couple of drops of Digest-N in there. Yep, John can relate to that. Yep, so Digest-N has got 7 different oils that all have their superpowers in there. Now, if you have caraway, does anyone want to go to bed farty? If you're kind of like a little bit farty at night, caraway, I know there's this ancient script that says caraway destroys the foulest of wind of within man. And it's basically a nice way of saying it stops you farting. And so it's a really great oil. If you've got that in your collection, it comes out as LTOs, occasionally limited time oils. Pop some caraway in there if you're a bit farty. Now, if you're worried that maybe you ate something a bit dodgy and there may be even some food poisoning, grab your cinnamon bark. I've got some really great stories about people that have eaten in like remote places in Africa and been like green in the face, but a bit of cinnamon bark and honey, within 24 hours, they're back on the plane and they're flying to another country kind of thing and feeling really good. So if you think of that, put some cinnamon bark in there. Coriander seed, actually really great one. It's in lavender peace. It's great for detoxing the body, great for heavy metal detoxing, but it's got some sleep attributes. So I'm going to pop a couple of drops of that in there. Fennel, if I can give you one word for fennel, cramping. Digestive cramping, menstrual cramping, muscle cramping, fennel. Really, really great as well. You could put Revitazine in there. I've just seen Jess say that as well. The oils in that are for detoxification. So that would help. But it's going to support our liver, it's going to support our colon and our bladder and all those things to just daily detox. These things are more if your belly's feeling a little bit funny, you've eaten something a bit dodgy and you're just like not feeling right kind of thing. And we put some peppermint in there as well. And peppermint's always good. Peppermint helps with getting your gut to move everything through kind of thing. And I just want to remind people that there's the flute. So this is our immune boosting one. Now, oregano is, in my recommendation, an oil that you should use for 5 days max and then 5 days off. But if you've been buying up on the different kits at the moment, you'll notice that thyme is available in one. And I'm very pleased to announce that thyme that was being discontinued due to lack of support in Australia and New Zealand is now back. So we need to make sure that we're using it and talking to other people about it. Otherwise, it will go again because it's not worth having things in a warehouse if people aren't purchasing them. Thyme is the softer sister of oregano. So if you feel that you want to keep boosting your immune system day after day after day, I would save oregano for those special 5 days when you need it. But thyme is so good. And I'm hoping in the coming weeks or months or so, we're going to really spotlight on thyme because the amount of stories they have about thyme helping with immunity and respiratory health and thyme's this overachiever, but it does it in the background. So we really need to celebrate thyme a bit more, but you can do that as well. And then we've got our tea tree in that. Okay. The final thing I want to remind you as well, with all of these kits, and next week you've got the amazing Vanessa and the fabulous Jackie talking about the hormone kit and the metabolic kit. Oils won't do anything if your body can't create the hormones and the neurotransmitters and the things it needs to do that you're asking it to do. We need melatonin to fall asleep. But if you don't have the proteins and all the building blocks to make the melatonin, it doesn't matter if you have 15,000 lavender pea soft gels, your body can't do it. We only get about 50% of our vitamins and minerals from our food, because here in Australia and here in New Zealand, and I know Kathy's in the UK, and I'm sure your soil is as bad as ours, we don't get it from our food anymore. We've kind of destroyed the soil. This is your other half. Just eat a good diet, you're getting 50% of your vitamins and minerals, this will fill in the other half. So do make sure you take it out. The final thing I want to kind of give you as we talk about the mental load is, did you really have a bad day today or just some bad moments? Sometimes a bad conversation. Something I had on the weekend, an argument with a mother who refused to ask her child to stop kicking my nephew's plane seat sitting behind us. Can really, spiral things out, and a couple of bad things throughout a day can really throw you out if you allow them to. What we look for in life and where we pay more attention to, you've heard the example of if you're looking for a red Toyota, then you start seeing how many red Toyotas there are on the roads and that type of thing as well. Can you look for glimmers of hope, glimmers of good things happening? Can you inject some little good things amongst these brutal mental load checklists that we have to do? I love just standing in the sun for a few minutes in the morning outside and just having that shine on my face, even if it's like 7 breaths and that's all I do. It just resets me a little bit. It might be enjoying a coffee or a cacao. It might be listening to your favorite song. If you like your K-pop at the moment, I'm listening to A Teaser's Bad every day because I just love it. It might be a hug. It might be going outside and walking one lap around your house and taking some deep breaths. Watching the sunset. There's really great apps that are free that will actually tell you when the sun sets in 15 minutes. And I just kind of meander outside and just go check out the color of the clouds for the day. Or something else that just brings a little bit of joy to you as well. These little moments can be really powerful in busy days if you can squeeze them in somewhere as well and kind of counteract those nasty comments, the stressful things, the things you stuffed up, and the same things you forget as well. So just something to contemplate. Can you bring in those glimmers? Right. That's first half. Now we're going to go into talking a little bit about Shinrin-yoku. And I want to talk exactly about how the forest heals. Now, people often ask me what my favorite oils and blends are. Shinrin-yoku is my number 1. Huga, or Simplicity, is number 2, but this is definitely number 1, and I don't think anything's going to knock it off its pedestal. I want you to take a second. This might be a bit of a glimmer section or moment. I want you to pause, and I just want you to look at this picture. I want you to notice how you feel. Oh, this beautiful image. How does it make you feel? This is one of my favorites. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Anne-Marie. And Paul, I'll let you off. Bit hard to see for Paul. I love this one. This is one of my favorite pictures of the Australian bush. But what we notice is when we look at nature and when we're around nature, we actually feel really calm. Now, did you know that Homo sapiens, as a species, we've been on this planet for 300,000 years. And for 99.9% of that time, we've lived intertwined with nature. It's only been over the last 300 years since we've moved away from all living either hunter-gatherer or agricultural-based lives that we've disconnected ourselves from nature. How much so? Well, here we all are trying to get out 10,000 steps, but in the past we were walking around 20,000 steps and coming into contact with dozens to hundreds of different plant species every single day. Now, the average person walks between 2,000 and 6,000, and we only contact between 3 and 30 plant species. For some people, that's the potatoes, the tomatoes, and the lettuce that they eat throughout the day. and maybe a pot plant that they might sit near, kind of thing. That's very much not how we're designed to be. We also see the world's populations are moving into cities. It used to be very few of us lived. In the 1800s, only about 3% lived in the cities, and all the rest of us were on the land, amongst the trees and nature. We're up to over half of people moving into cities now, and it's projected by 2050 that 2/3 of us will be in there. It doesn't matter whether in city or whether out in the, more in the country, rural areas. The average Australian spends 90% of their time indoors anyway. I'm sure Kiwis aren't any better. And Europe, you are the same as well. So we're living in these fast-paced artificial worlds that are overstimulating us. And what happens when we leave nature, we're exposed to more pollution. We don't get that exposure and those blessings from the different plants that they bring. We seem to move around less. We have more chronic disease, mental health issues, and so on. So I want you to think about what we can learn from trees. There's a really good book, and I'd really encourage you to check this one out. And some of the stories that I'll share with you as we're going through is about the hidden life of trees. There's an illustrated edition of this one that's beautiful, or there's some other ones as well. So lesson one from trees, that we all thrive together. So in a healthy forest, the roots of trees are interconnected through these mutual beneficial relationships with millions of microorganisms. So it's not just the roots, but there's microorganisms in there. And if one tree is struggling, other trees will send nutrients over to help it out. And this ensures the preservation of the canopy, because this is really important in a big forest. Now, it's noticed that when humans have come into a forest, maybe they've made it into a park or they've started cutting trees down, that suddenly the trees aren't as generous to the other trees and they start looking after themselves as well. And isn't that amazing? I'm sure you've been maybe in a big city, maybe a big Australian or New Zealand city, maybe been to London or New York or somewhere like that. You can see how much people are more selfish. And guaiac wood's a really great oil for helping us reconnect with community as well. So, just out of a side note, there are some greedy trees. Can anyone name one greedy tree that actually gives us some essential oils that we have in the doterra range?
Eucalyptus?
Not eucalyptus. Eucalyptuses help each other. I think it's the next. No, arbor vitae is nice. It's our sandalwoods. Our Indian sandalwood and our iliahi, our Hawaiian sandalwood, are not so generous. They're, they must be the Aries of the tree world or something. They're selfish. Sorry if you're an Aries. But what they do is they need to actually get their nutrients from other trees, and so they draw it through their root system. Things like selenium and phosphorus, I think it is. They actually can't get them from the soil, so they do take. But your average forest, all the trees are a lot more generous as well. There's another cool. Bet you didn't think you'd get parenting tips today, but I'm going to give you one from trees. So trees need sunlight to grow. And in a healthy forest, the larger, older trees form a canopy which blocks most of the sunlight, which stops younger trees from growing too quickly. They don't have to grow up too quickly, because what they find is a tree that grows too quickly is structurally weak, and when facing a storm is more likely to experience long-lasting damage. Now think about when our youth are forced to grow up too quickly and deal with things too quickly. What happens is they just don't have the skills to do it. It's interesting how trees will actually parent younger trees to make sure that they grow slower but stronger as well. I thought that was cool. So let's look at some of our beautiful trees, oils that give us different things. And again, you might go, oh yeah, black spruce is like Douglas fir, is like arbor vitae and like that. No, they're all different. So black spruce is our ideal one when it comes to exhaustion and stress. The Latin name Picea Mariana is a reference to Mother Mary, and based on which spiritual path you like to take, I want you to think of black spruce as being the celestial mother, that when all the people in your life, when it's not been a good forest day and everyone's let you down, this one kind of gives you a big cuddle and settles the body down and goes, it's all right. I've got your back. Yep. This is one of my top 3 oils, black spruce. We then have Douglas fir. Now, if you've been coming to a few classes, you may have heard people talking about alpha pinene, alpha pinene. Now, alpha pinene is kind of centering and stabilizing, but beta pinene is actually more calming than alpha pinene. And our highest beta pinene oil is Douglas fir. So when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed and that mental load, there's too many things to do, Douglas fir is absolutely amazing. I've got a little story there. That's why that's a Douglas fir cone. Long story short, there's a North American myth about baby mice being chased by a wildfire and not knowing where to escape. And basically the Douglas fir tree saves them by having them rest in the cone. And so you can see there all the baby mice with their little hindquarters and their tails poking out. And that's a beautiful indigenous North American story. So if you'd like to know it more, jump on my YouTube and look up Douglas fir, and you can hear me do animal voices there. Siberian fir, our only big tree leaf oil that we can ingest, but this one's your aches and pains. So really, really beautiful for aches and pains and massaging this in. We've got cedarwood. This is our calming one and also a really great one for our skin. Really great in your nighttime diffuser and increases GABA release, which calms us down as well. Cypress. Remember before I was talking about fennel and a keyword for fennel? Cypress, the word is flow. Whether you've got things flowing too much or not enough, get cypress massage into that area. Whether it be circulation, lymphatics, menstrual, perspiration, urinary, cypress evens out flow in a really great way. It's also an oil of grief. It helps tears to flow, and it's a great one to diffuse and to massage as well. So that's cypress is from the leaf, and then we have our cypress wood oils. So arbor vitae, amazing. Hinoki, another one of my favorites. Would love to have that as a full-time oil in Australia. If only I knew who to speak to about that. And you may also have Nootka. These ones are really great for fungal infections. They're great for reducing pain. They're great for things like candida, all that type of stuff. Really, really powerful ones and have those beautiful woody aromas as well. So each of your wood oils, and we've got juniper berry. Your keyword for juniper berry is urinary system. Anything wrong with the urinary system, juniper berry, and then find some other oils that you might want to put with it. But if you've got any issues with your urinary system, juniper berry is great. Great for evening out your dreams as well. If you're having nightmares, juniper berry on your feet. If you can't remember your dreams, juniper berry on your feet. And then we've got our eucalyptuses, which obviously help with our respiratory as well. So think about all the big trees in all these forests. They all do different things. We've got arbor vitae, we've got black spruce for the adrenals, Douglas fir for relaxation, and we've got cypress for flow. We've got juniper berry for the urinary system. We've got cedarwood for skin, and we've got Siberian fir for muscles, and eucalyptus for respiratory. So you almost could have a home essentials kit of the forest oil, which I find really exciting. And then there are more. We sometimes see some of the firs. We see cade wood, which is a juniper wood. We can get birch, which is like wintergreen, and absolutely amazing as well. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Shinrin-yoku, my favorite blend. So this is one that often I hear people go, I love Shinrin-yoku, it smells great. And although it's nice to hear compliments about one of our blends like that, it also breaks my heart to hear people say that, because this is not what Shinrin-yoku is for. It's not designed to smell nice. Now, Shinrin-yoku is designed around the Japanese practice of forest bathing. Shinrin-yoku translates to mean forest bathing. Now, in the 1970s, because of the increased suicide rate in Japan and mental health issues, the government invested in several projects. One of the most successful ones was getting people to go into the forest. And you can see all the benefits that they found when people go into the forest, whether it be physical, whether it be mental, or whether it be emotional. It was amazing. So when we Shinrin-yoku, it's not about bushwalking, it's not about trekking. What you do is you want to disengage from your normal routine, and then what you want to do is you want to engage all your five senses and meander like with childlike curiosity. So you want to look at things, you want to touch things, you want to smell things. Only taste things if you know you can taste them. But you can sometimes taste the air and listen to the sounds. One of my favorite activities when I go and take people on Shinrin-yoku experiences is I get you to listen to how many different birds you can hear. And we can always hear birds in most forests in the bush, but it's amazing when you actually stop, you actually go, I think I can hear 9 different types of birds. It's really interesting. And then what you do is you come back and you kind of come back into life after that. It's really important that this is not about just going for a walk in the bush. You need to disengage and become present like a child. And while you're out there, you can do different things. You can earth, get your bare feet on the ground. You might want to meditate and listen or feel the sun or the wind on your face. And one of my favorite exercises is called Get to Know a Tree, where you sit with a tree, you can hug it, you can put your back to it, whatever. And you basically can go, if this tree could speak to me, what would it say? And just allow that to unfold as it should. So back to why does this forest bathing work? Scientists, they're not happy with that's what happened. They want to know why. They're like an annoying 5-year-old, which is great. And what they've realized is that trees release these things into the air. They're called phytoncides, sorry. And phytoncides are released by trees to attract pollinators, to attract pests, and to talk to each other. It's another form of communication as well as that root system. When we breathe them in, it has this calming effect on our body and our mind. And that's how we get all the different immunity and sleep and stress and weight loss and cardiovascular balancing and all those different things in there from breathing them in. So I was fascinated when I was first getting into forest bathing, and I'm like, so what are these phytoncides? And they listed it. There are things like alpha pinene and beta pinene and D-limonene and campheine. And I'm like, hold on, they're in essential oils. And you can see our essential oils and the ones that have many of those different constituents in them and how much based on this slide here. So this is what we find in the Shinrin-yoku blend. Shinrin-yoku was designed to not smell great. It does smell great, but it was designed to mimic the forest air. So originally, for a bit of FYI, behind the scenes knowledge, the Japanese version is actually not called Shinrin-yoku. It's called Morinoto, which means sounds of the forest. And they created one, but there's an oil in there called buntan, which we find in our ikase moisturizer. But there's not enough buntan to go around the world when they wanted to Shinrin-yoku everywhere. So they had to reformulate it a little bit. And so the research and development came back and go, we've got it. We've got one that smells just the same as the original one. But people like Dr. Brennick Riggs at doterra looked at the chemistry and said, no, you haven't done it right at all because the chemistry is all wrong, and they had to go back and reformulate it to mimic the chemistry. So when we diffuse this blend, these are some of the things that have been noticed. By diffusing it for just one night, people's cortisol levels came down a lot more. And this continued when they diffused it for 3 nights. Inflammation went down. Natural killer cells, the things that go and kill bugs and cancerous cells, increased. And blood pressures came down and harmonized and balanced out for people with high blood pressure. So this is an interesting thing and an important thing to know about Shinrin-yoku. It's fine to have going in your laundry or somewhere where you have a little sniff, but just like driving past a forest, it's going to have a little benefit. This therapeutic blend works best when it's diffused for an 8-hour period. So if you sit somewhere during the day, that's great, but if you're in bed at night, it's great as well. So you can diffuse it. You can do quick inhalation. You can have a bath with it. You can aromatically dress in it. And you can actually buy the touch roller in the kit that we've got available this month as well. You can use it with the Aroma Touch hand massage, but it's also got some things that kill bugs around our home, so you can actually clean your home with it as well. So my final thing to share with you about the forest is that we should listen carefully. Even the trees exhale sweet love songs that roll off their boughs and echo out to all of creation. Love is always in the air. And I think we used to listen a lot to nature, and hopefully you picked up a couple of little tips tonight that will help you to listen to nature a little bit more. So I hope that's been helpful. I know there's been a lot of information, but what I ask of you tonight is that you take 1 or 2 tips. If you're interested in the mental load kit, if you've got it or not, then please grab the ebook. And a lot of the things I shared with you are in the ebook as well. And maybe have a look at some of your forest oils, your big tree oils, and think about how you could use them a little bit more as well. Are there any questions? Thank you for all the kind words. I actually thought I was running out of time, so I didn't realize I've got 9 spare minutes. So are there any questions?
You just mentioned Aroma Touch with Shinrin-yoku.
Yep.
The hands.
Yeah, so there's obviously the Aroma Touch where you do it on the back of the feet. Now, that's designed to use those 8 oils, and I wouldn't recommend mixing those 8 oils because Dr. Hill spent a lot of time going, they're great. But with the Aroma Touch hand technique, you can use Aroma Touch oil, you can use lavender, you can use balance, but I would recommend give Shinrin-yoku a try from time to time.
Right.
Okay. So different. Yeah. Oh, Vanessa's just popped the ebook in there as well to make it easy for us. Can you mix, Megan's asked, can I mix balance and Shinrin-yoku? Some people like to combine lavender peace and Shinrin-yoku in their diffuser. Absolutely. I think absolutely you can. You're just adding a few extra bits of chemistry to the forest. So I think that would be a really great thing to do. But it's great as well. Yep, and what Simone's saying there around pets is absolutely fine. Just if your pets want to leave, let them, kind of thing. Kerry, you've got your hand up. Do you want to unmute yourself? Assuming you've got a question.
Yeah, I do. Hello, everyone. With the peppermint, the lavender peace soft gels, will they work?
You've muted yourself.
Sorry, no, I think I was trying to lower your hand and I muted you. Try again, Kerry. That was me.
Sorry.
No, my fault.
Just asking about the lavender peace gels. Will they work straight away, or does it take time for your body to absorb it? Like, will it help you that sort of first night sleep with the Cohiba gel?
Do. Yeah. So, for those that were at convention I spoke about, I had a slide that said essential oils will not help you get a good night's sleep. And then I kind of moved to another slide and I said, if used alone. So if we've got to train our body, and just like if we haven't watered our garden for 6 months, you can't go and spray some fertilizer and water on it once and then it's all blossoming. So bit by bit by bit, getting into these habits, your body will start to get back into good habits of sleeping. So it is definitely about sticking with it for at least 1, if not 3 months, and seeing how it goes. Does that help? Right. Does that answer?
Yes, that does. Thank you very much.
Awesome. That was a great question. Thank you. Any other questions? Feel free to pop your hand up or pop it in the chat. Cool. Everyone seems happy. Sim, can you remind us what we're giving away today?
Yes, it's a Costa Brio and a Slothy.
Excellent. Okay. I have a cat. I do. This
you can't give away the cat. You cannot give away the cat. So.
No, not a chance in hell. This is Lamira, who loves to stick her head over the diffuser and just inhale it sometimes. So, yes. But she's not here for me. She's here for the heater that's going next to me today. Okay. So, a Slothy and a Costa Brio. You cannot buy a Costa Brio. Men, I would definitely get your fingers ready. It's a beautiful masculine blend to anoint yourself with. I wear it as a cologne sometimes. It'd be great as a touch. But ladies, it tastes good. It smells good in the diffuser as well. My question for you tonight, what is the one word I wanted you to remember for fennel?
Cramping.
Oh, someone was good on the
Genesis,
audio.
cramping.
Diane jumped in there quickly. Cramping. Good word. So absolutely no
Yeah,
prizes
cramping
whatsoever.
too.
You're supposed to put your hand up. What?
Oh, good. Diane was first to type it in before anyone spoke as well. What, for absolutely no prize whatsoever, what is the word for cypress?
What is
Low.
Low. Perfect. And juniper berry.
Kidneys.
No, urinary.
Urinary.
Oh.
Good.
Yay.
Yep, perfect. So just remembering one little word, if you can do that with some of these lesser known oils, we all know what lavender's for, we all know what peppermint's for, but if you're like, what do I do with juniper berry? Urinary. What's cypress? Flow. What's what was the other one? Fennel? Cramping. And so whenever those things come up, and the other one, what's caraway good for? Farting, exactly. Yes. So those little things.
I blocked that out.
For flatulence or foul wind inside man. Yeah. Beautiful. Guys, thank you so much for Diane. Can you make sure that you either pop your number, your ID number in the chat or message?
I've got it.
Oh, you've
I've
got
got
it?
it.
Cool. We're all sorted. Beautiful. I hope you've taken a few things from tonight. Next week, what's better than one person? Two fabulous presenters, Vanessa and Jackie, are sharing the time. We're going to talk about the two other kits. Remember, these kits at this point in time are only available this month. So if you haven't done your LRP, think about popping these kits in there and getting into using them. And give the protocols a try for a couple of months and come back and then you can tweak it. Things like that. That's all for tonight. I'm going to go enjoy the falling rain on my tin roof. Hopefully you can go have another little glimmer tonight before you go to bed as well. I'll talk to you really soon. Thanks, guys.
Bye.